everybody. Welcome to the evening reader. Being attacked by a pillow. uh, hey, so yeah, how are you doing out there? Hope your week's going well. Uh, yep, it's Wednesday. Yep, I'm here with the tag video. I'm still working to make Tag Wednesday happen, apparently. I was gonna do one yesterday, but I just they got away from me and I didn't get to it. So, I wanted to do the how do you rate your books tag. This was an original tag created by Emily at Novelle Novel. And I saw Roz at Scally Dandling about the books do it. And I also watched Emily's video, and I will link both of their videos below. But I thought this sounded like a really fun tag. Nobody tagged me. I just thought it sounded like a good discussion. I'm always interested in how other people rate their books, how you come up with the rating, how you decide. And so I thought it would be a fun tag to do. There's 9 questions. So without further ado, we'll just get started. So the first question is, and I know this is a little wobbly because I'm actually holding the phone on a stick thing and I still cannot manage to look at the camera. Where is the thing? I really don't know why the phone cameras can't just have the little monitor thing so that you can see. But whatever. Okay, that's an aside anyway. All right, so the first question is, how often do you DNF and what makes you DNF a book? I DNF, I guess if I gave it a percentage, maybe 10 to 20% of the time, or 10 to 20% of the books I read in a year. I am pretty picky. And I don't hesitate to DNF because there are too many books to read. And if something is not working for me, I have 2 different types of DNFing a book. One is, and I guess I'll get to this on the next question more so I won't go too deeply into it. One is like if a book is totally not working for me at all, like it's got problems, we've got problems, uh, then I'll DNF it, no problem. Sometimes though, I realize that it's not the book, it's me, and it's just not the right time for the book. And I know that if I pick it up at the right time, I may have better luck with it, or at least I hope so. So I guess you could call it a second chance book. um, so I kind of categorize them between like abandoned, like I am not coming back to this book ever, versus I usually just like I put them back on the shelf, like on my Goodreads shelf. I have like a shelf for that. Um, because, sometimes it's just not the right time for a book. And I want to recognize that. So I don't really count that as DNFing a book. Um, so I abandon a book or DNF a book really if I feel manipulated by the author in some way, or if I'm just having a really hard time, if the writing's not good, or I'm having a hard time connecting with the characters. Like if the characters seem really flat, or just ridiculous. Or they do things that just don't make any sense. Like that just isn't making sense. And I'll DNF at any point in time. Like I know some people, will don't want to DNF once they're 70% of the way through a book, but I mean, I did. I just DNF'd Christadora. I was like 67% of the way through. And I guess I could have skimmed through to the end, but it just I kind of know what's going to happen because the author has made it so apparent, and it was like so like I'm going to make this plot happen, these things I want to happen. I will make them happen even if it doesn't make sense for the characters. And so I feel like I just don't really totally need to keep on going with that. So that's me and DNFing. Okay, so this video will not be an hour long. Let me move on. Number two is, do you rate books 1 star? I don't. I don't tend to rate books 1 star. If a book is really 1 star for me, it's a DNF. It's an abandoned book, usually. There's because like I said, I'm not gonna just keep reading a book, and I don't hate read, and I'm not. I also don't like the idea of 1 star because it just I feel a little bad for the author. I feel sort of like here's somebody who did put in a lot of work, and to give 1 star to me just it feels hostile in a way. I guess if somebody really offended me with their writing or in some way, maybe I would give a 1 star, but I don't think I have ever given 1 star. I think I just normally either DNF or I just don't give any rating at all. So that's how I do that. Number three, what is a 2 star book to you? So, okay, so before I get into the star ratings and what they mean to me, I just wanted to say I used to not rate my books at all. Like when I first started blogging, I just didn't believe in star ratings, and I kind of still don't believe in star ratings, just because I think they're not complex enough. Maybe that's what I want to say. Um, I give different star ratings for different types of books. So the star rating that I give actually usually depends on the type of book. So, like if I'm reading a thriller and I give a thriller and the thriller is really good, it's fast paced, it's kept the pages turning, it's not full of cliches, the like the main detective or the main character is maybe really interesting, or I feel invested in them or in what's happening in the story, then I may give it, a higher rating. I might give it 4 stars, but that 4 stars is not going to be the same 4 stars as like a literary novel. That doesn't make any sense, does it? No, that doesn't quite make sense. But do you know what I mean? Like I have different criteria for different types of books. Um, a 2 star book to me is a book that's okay. I was able to get through it. I didn't DNF it. Um, there were maybe one or two things that I even sort of liked about it. It kept me turning the pages enough to finish it, and yeah, so that's a 2 star. That'd be a 2 star book for me. It's okay. I'm not necessarily, I don't feel like my time was wasted, but I'm probably never going to recommend it unless I know there's somebody who I think would love it. Because, sometimes people have different tastes, and what's a 2 star book to me might be a 4 or 5 star book for somebody else. So that's fine. Number four, is a 3 star a book good for you? Sorry, I have the questions in my lap and I'm looking at them. Is a 3 star book good for you? Um, I do think 3 stars is a really solid rating for a book. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think a 3 star means it's a good book. It did everything it was supposed to do. Pretty solid characters, mostly avoided cliche, interesting plot, or kept me planted enough curiosity seeds that I wanted to keep reading. And then probably had several other aspects that I liked, like maybe dialogue, or it was funny, or it had some interesting detail in it, and then the writing style was pretty seamless. Like nothing stopped me from, or maybe go back and read again, or what did that mean? Um, a 3 star book is a good book, in my opinion. I know a lot of booktubers and book bloggers and bookstagrammers, all the book people, think that 3 stars is, damning something with faint praise. And I think 3 stars this is a good book. It's a recommendable book. It's a well-written book. And I will read other books by that author. Yeah. Whereas, yeah, a 2-star book, maybe I'm not going to pick up something else by that author. It's like, oh, well, that was okay, but I don't think I'm really interested in going forward here. A 3-star book, I will still want to pick up maybe something by that author. What does 4 stars mean to you? So 4 stars would be probably something that's just better than solid. There's something that stands out about the book. The characters are really interesting and strong. The writing is really stellar. The It's made me think about something in a different way, or something in the book or maybe the book has brought me into a another world, whether that's historical, or like if it's fantasy, the world building is really strong. Or yeah, if it's historical, maybe it's telling me, it's bringing me into a time period. Or maybe there's something about the book, like if it's a novel that's like about art or something. Oh, and I should say, I guess I'm talking about mostly fiction here. Yeah, I've been talking about mostly fiction here. So I'll lay that in. I should have said at the beginning. We're talk about fiction. We're talking about fiction. Nonfiction would be another ball game, I think. Yeah, different criteria for me. So yeah, that would be a 4-star read for me. That there's some elements that really stand out, and that are above and beyond what would be in a 3-star book, where everything's really pretty good. There's, I'm noticing it. I'm maybe marking on, or marking it on the pages, or I remember it. Like, I'm like, wow, or I'm thinking about the book when I'm away from it. That would be more of a 4-star read, I think, for me. So let's see. The next question, number 6, is, do you ever do half-star ratings? I do sometimes, although I think half-star ratings are really mostly meaningless. And I really hate when I do it because I feel like inside myself, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you giving something a half-star? Commit either way. Because it just feels kind of like I'm hedging and I'm being cowardly for some reason. Like, maybe I feel like I should like the book more than I do, because somebody recommended it to me, or because it's it's covering certain content that I feel like if I need to give it an extra little bump, because it just seems like I need to elevate it some way. I don't know. But yeah, I think half-star ratings are kind of, I mean, what does that even mean, really? I don't know. Like, I even see that I've gone through and like looked at some booktube videos where there are some booktubers who have some really complex rating systems out there, and they've got like, I don't know, like spreadsheets, and I rate it from 1 to 7, and I do this, and then there's a formula, and there's math, and like, that's a little too complicated for me. And so, yeah, what does it mean to give a half star? Yeah, it seems like, yeah, I don't know. I'd have to be like getting pretty down in the nitty gritty to try to figure that out for myself. But usually when I do it, it's just because I'm hedging one way or the other, and I don't know why I do that. So it's kind of sad. Just being honest, though. I'm just being honest. Okay. Let's see. Number 7 is, do you rate books 5 stars often? What do 5-star books do to make them rate that high? Well, I mean, I think I give books 5 stars more than I used to. Um, I think in general, in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been rating books higher than I used to, and I I don't necessarily think that's a good thing, because I can look back and I'm like, why did I give that 5 stars? why did I give that 5 stars? Or why did I give that 4 stars? And I do think that there's a little, I sometimes feel like I need to be more positive, but why? I'm starting to question, why do I feel that way? I like, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but that's not totally answering the question, is it? So, what a 5 star book for me? If I really honestly, most books for me are 4 stars. A 5 star book, I think, really is a book that I know is going to warrant a reread. But then there's a part of me that feels like it should still be 4 stars until I've reread it, and then I decide if it's 5 stars. Because it should be memorable. I think that's probably the key to a 5 star book, is that it's a book that you can't stop thinking about, or that you remember the writing, or that you remember those characters, you really love the characters, or you love the way the authors put the story together. Uh, so I don't really know. I think that, I mean, I've definitely been doing it. I've been giving books 5 stars, but now I've also been going back and taking stars away from books. And I think that that's going to be my policy going forward, is like, I think I'm just not going to give 5 star ratings until I've reread a book. I know that that sounds tough, but I think that it's fair, because that's really, to me, what a book that should mean, that's a book is really excellent. It's a book you can't get out of your head. It created such a an immersive experience. It made you, underline and think about language in a new way, or think about the world in a different way. Otherwise, a book is 4 stars, and a 4 star book should still be a really, really good book. And honestly, that's the way when I first started rating books on Goodreads, and which is actually the ninth question, which is, how do you rate your books? I rate my books on Goodreads. Um, I used to not give star ratings to my books. I used to not give star ratings ever. I used to just do, my blog reviews, or I just would put what I had read into Goodreads, but I didn't give any stars. And I did that for that reason, which is just, it just, giving star ratings felt sort of superficial. And I realized, but then I sort of started to think, well, I do need to probably, it's helpful. It's helpful for other people. And, even though my criteria might not be, my 5 star might not be somebody else's 5 star, my 4 star might not be somebody else's, and so on and so on. Um, yeah, it still helps to have a record, I guess. So, but I think 5 star books should be really spectacular books. And I think I've been more generous than I should be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that's going to be my policy going forward. And that's number 8, is how has your rating of books changed over the years? And I would say that's one way it has changed. I got really lenient with stars over the last, well, really longer, probably over the last 6 or 7 years. I started to get more lenient with stars. And I can look back now and think, oh, that it didn't deserve 4 stars. It didn't deserve 5 stars. And so I'm trying something new this year, which is that I have not given any star ratings to any books this year. I may have said in a video, well, I think this would be an X star read, a 4 star or a 5 star read I think it might be. But I'm not giving star ratings, and I think I'm going to do at the end of the year is I'm going to go through and then try to do the star ratings based on sort of memory. Or maybe I'll do it now at the mid-year, because I think I'm really interested to see what books have stuck with me. what, because like last year I was making my year end list and I had a lot of books that I had just liberally given stars to. And then I was trying to make my like top 10 list just for uh, Instagram. And I was looking at it and I was like, I gave that 5 stars? Why did I give that 5 stars? No, no, that doesn't belong on this list. So, yeah, I think I might try to rethink that. And I've seen another interesting approach on Goodreads, which is some people only rate 5 star books and everything else they don't rate at all. It's like it's either 5 stars or it's no stars. I think that's kind of an interesting approach, but then of course I think that's probably somebody who rates pretty generously if it's 5 stars or no stars. So kind of weird. So I don't know. So I think that that's how my ratings have changed. I'm not. I really want to be a little stricter about my stars because, and I want to go back to this is how when I started giving star ratings, 3 stars was solid. It was a good book, and I just think I really fell to the pressure of why didn't you like it? Why did you only give it 3 stars? Or the thinking that authors see 3 stars and they think, well, you didn't like my book. And it's like, well, no, 3 stars is good. 3 stars is solid and worth recommending. It's good. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think this could be a fun one to revisit more than once. I think Emily has created just this. This is a really cool tag. So yeah. And so, yeah, the last one was where do you record your ratings? And I record them on Goodreads. I don't keep a book journal. I'm trying to start keeping a book journal for the channel. Uh, I've always just been mostly reading for me since I don't blog anymore. Um, and I didn't do stars on the blog. I only ever just still did them on Goodreads, even when I did reviews or recorded my thoughts. I wouldn't call them book reviews. I'd just say when I recorded my thoughts on the blog. But I am trying to get back into the habit of starting a book journal and thinking about things more in that way. And also thinking a little more critically again, because I haven't been thinking critically. I think in the last, although I mean, some things I've thought critically about, I also get into those periods where it's like books are like Doritos and I'm just like inhaling them and I'm like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. Not really. And like, oh no, I don't like that one. Oh, I dropped that one on the floor. I just kind of just go. So I'm trying to not do that. So be more conscious. So yeah. Anyway, this was a really, really fun tag, like I just said. And I'm not going to tag anybody because, here it is, it's Tag Wednesday, and yesterday was Tag Tuesday. If you want to do this tag, I highly recommend it. And I would love to hear about how you rate books and what your system is. If you have a system, if you keep a book journal, if you have like solid criteria for each of these star ratings, what makes you DNF? I am just endlessly curious about other people's book ratings because I think it's just it's so I think it's really personal, but we have this platform where we're all out there, punching little buttons like here's the star. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments if you want to share what you do. If you have a channel, please consider doing this tag because I think it's really cool. And yeah, and I may see you this weekend. I may not. I'm not sure. I may not get a chance to film a video this weekend, but I will be back on next week to do the mid-year freak out tag because I was tagged by Literate Texan to do that tag, but it's not the end of the month yet. So we're not all the way 6 months through. That's how I am. I'm the same way at the end of the year. December 31st is when I do my end of year book list. And so I won't do my end of first half list until next week. So, all right then. Okay. So thank you for visiting. Thanks for watching. And leave a comment about your rating system. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.